and familiar in North Carolina, right? So just to give us an idea, how many people in the room have always taught in North Carolina? Okay, how many of you have come from another state, another country? Okay, so there seems to be kind of this multiple version of different program structures. Anybody have a moment where they came to North Carolina and thought, wow, things are done differently here? Tell us about that. Anybody?
It's state directed in North Carolina.
Okay, versus
Locally directed in Vermont.
okay, isolated. Joanne, she thinks she retired as a former Title III, ESL Title III consultant. From your perspective at DPI, what would you add?
Many people are still clueless about ESL, what it stands for, why you need it, why you need to collaborate. It's there's a big hole in many places that needs to be filled with some education.
Absolutely. So looking at this, think about just for a minute what the program structure where you are currently feels like. How is it shaped? Are you still in a school or a district that primarily pulls kids out? Are you still in a school setting or a district where there are simply standalone classes for all the ESL students, and they may even be labeled SciAp biology, which really doesn't mean anything other than all of the English learners are in the same room at the same time. So I want you guys to take about 30 seconds and just share at your tables. What does your program structure feel like at this point?
All right. So I overhear that we really have different models. So this is not the only model that you might be experiencing or your English learners experience in your schools. When I was trained in the United States 20 years ago, this was what we were taught ESL is all about. The standalone program with focusing on only your English learners, nobody else, and the 4 language skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing. But over the years, we have really experienced, and in my research and travels around the country too, I have seen a huge paradigm shift. Maybe not as big as that, but the paradigm shift right now, especially in New York State and a few states around the country, where collaboration is now policy enabled. No longer even a choice, like I heard Vermont, that you create your own version of the ESL program, or New Hampshire. Some states do not really have a state level set of guidelines. You have to follow the federal law, but within your school district, you will create your own program model. This is what's happening in a lot of places. Take a look at this for a moment. In New York, we call it English as a new language. I think, Joan, I learned from you.
Yes, in some of the western states, California and some other states in that region, it's classified as English as an additional language, or EAL.
And in the Illinois area where I visited recently, they call it, the teachers are called LDCs, Language Development Coaches. So completely moving away from the English as a second language, English this, English that, is recognizing that there are multiple languages. Multilingualism is actually valued. And the way they call it LDC, Language Development Coaches, the ESL teacher's role is also to provide instructional support for their colleagues. So recognizing the expertise of the ESOL teacher. So in New York, this is where we are. This is what is policy endorsed now. Collaborative teacher teams work together to offer integrated services, integrating The program model, integrating the students and integrating the content and language that's being delivered, very different from the standalone programs that we had before. So here is a critical question. Why is this happening? Why are so many of you here to learn about this today? So what we're going to invite you to do is, at your tables, we're going to give you about 1 minute, find or agree on the most compelling arguments why the rest of the country, North Carolina, your district, or maybe personally you as an educator, are moving in this collaborative, integrated direction with ESL services. What is the rationale? Rather than us presenting arguments to you, we would like to invite you to do a little constructivism with us, and let's co-construct meaning together. Why is it such an important shift? Go for it.
Okay, so Joanne is going to act as our scribe. Which table would like to volunteer first? The most compelling reason that maybe came out of your conversation. Okay, tell Joanne all the way over there.
Hi, Joanne. We were saying it's wonderful to be in collaboration because we work off each other's strengths and we learn new strategies from each other. And I like that you said it, 2 heads are better than 1, or 3 or 4, depending on your class.
Yeah, there's this cool saying about 1 brain is great, 2 brains are awesome, but many brains are like phenomenal, maybe even explosive when it comes to innovative ideas. Absolutely. Okay, what else do you want Joanne to note? Anybody else? Say it proud.
To align teaching and learning for kids, to help it make sense to them instead of fragmented, like so much of our teaching can become when we have special education here, ESL here, reading intervention over here.
Kind of that silo.
Right, right. So instead of streamlining it for kids, when we do that, it doesn't make sense to them. Then it's up to them to try to translate all they learned in these special little spaces into the mainstream classroom, right? So when we're collaborating, we're just creating a tapestry for them and weaving it into our everyday instruction and making it make sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, which feels very different than you guys over here. You're going to work with Andrea, the real teacher, and I'm going to sit over here with Carlos and his friends and teach them. That's totally disconnected. Okay, anybody else?
But the gap only gets bigger.
Then the gap only gets bigger, absolutely.
We didn't really talk about it, it's kind of striking me right now.
Good.
Guys.
Constructivism.
Just the whole accountability piece, it feels more healthy to say, these are our kids. We're going to help all of our kids instead of the subgroup, and these are your kids and you're responsible for, it's just a much more holistic approach to the kids.
These are all our students. Yeah.
And can I say something? In our county, we started doing the co-teaching part 3 years ago.
Okay.
Right? And it has been working so well that in our school in particular, we talked to our principal, and we have been starting working to cluster the students, and we see our classes as a whole, even though we have, different group of students. We see our class as a whole, not as these are all PC or these are all EL or these are all the others. No, it's when we go in, it's our class, and we take advantage of teaching them as a whole. It's not that I'm going to, like you said, that I'm going to sit down in that corner and work only with those. No, it is when we co-teach, it's the whole class.
So you have this strategic grouping, right?
Yeah, we
but
do.
it's very inclusive.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, but at the end, it's all of them, and all of them are going to take advantage of the strategies that I am presenting, that we work together, the teacher and I, or the teacher and the ESL teacher, with to present in the classroom for better approach the kids to learn.
Absolutely. We say all the time, like, ESL. So a lot of strategies that were developed with the English learner in mind, we have yet to find one that might be harmful for a native speaker of English, right? Oh, don't do that. No, that's gonna hurt that child. They're all really beneficial for everybody. And for those of you that have heard me speak before, you know we always want to pull in this connection of, we have lots of kids that come to our schools who are native speakers of English, but have really huge gaps in their academic language. So even though they're not labeled or classified as an English learner, we are all English learners. I know Andrea and I, and Joanne as well, we learn words from our kids at home.
Yes.
New vocabulary all the time comes out, and you're like, wow, I didn't need to learn that.
Absolutely. Do we have one more? Yes.
So I think it's a safety net too, because we spend a whole time talking to kids, teaching kids, even adults once in a while to talk to.
Yeah. So peer support, through collaboration as teachers, we need our own peer support as well. I don't feel like, well, I have to do it all by myself and I have to know all the answers.
One of the things we talked about is that, at least in our county, is kind of a, even though we do it, a lot of the content teachers are not familiar with what co-teaching means. They're still using inclusion, but it's an opportunity for us as ESL teachers to model, and so that they start to develop themselves in that area. And they might say, hey, if I'm not co-teaching this semester, I can still use pre-teaching vocabulary and those kind of things.
Sometimes I like to refer to co-teaching as one of the best job-embedded, free, ongoing professional development. I already learned 2 strategies from Joan, just 2 ways that she engaged you that I have never used. And she did not have to sit me down and give me a little mini presentation. I just watch her. And that is very, very powerful when you can literally learn on the job.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think you get their attention when you start, like, when 2 adults start talking to each other, they want to know what you're talking
Yes.
about. So, like, they don't realize that you're teaching them something because they're, like, they think that they're getting in on, like, what you guys are talking about. And so it's kind of like a little, like, stage, you know what I mean, for, like, two people or 3 people, whatever, to interact with each other and they learn from it.
Well, the other really good part of that is you can experiment. And if it doesn't go well, you know what? It's okay. The kids are coming back again tomorrow. Even if you wish they wouldn't.
And just to piggyback on that, I like your idea of the conversation to see what they're talking about and to co-plan, coordinate together. To me, that's what, it's like a business model. We're teaching our kids how the real world operates. So often in the workplace, you have to collaborate and cooperate. Even outside of the workplace, you need to talk to other people. How do you negotiate situations? How do you interact with other people in a respectful way? And this is all part of learning how to do that. And they don't even know that they're learning.
All right, so please notice that we've collaborated right now on the spot and how all of these different points were made by different people. So opportunities for collaborative conversations are very, very important, and recognizing each other's perspectives and acknowledging them.